EA Sports. It's in the game.
Yeah, that was a heck of a pass. I mean, you could just hear that ball sizzling in the air.
Well, ain't it nice to see a familiar face? Welcome to another year of football with Madden NFL 23. Before we get started, go ahead and change up your options, or just stick with what worked for you last year. And don't worry, if you ever feel like switching it up, you can always change things around in settings later.
Hold me, they cannot hold me, yeah. Slowly, ain't no more taking it slowly, yeah. Holy, you're dealing with something that's holy, yeah. Hold me, I need somebody to hold me. Something done woke up in me. I've been going crazy, I've been doing my thing. They not ready for me. Y'all been playing with me. No time for the silly games. Damn, it really must be so intimidating. But I gotta be great. That's the God up in me. Whoa, yeah.
Accessibility settings.
You're dealing with something that's holy, yeah.
Accessibility settings.
I need somebody to hold me. I'm still cooking out the basement, and this game needs some saving. And I'm ready for the action, cause I'm tired of the acting. What happened to being great? What happened to being fashionably late? What happened to rocking shows? What happened to spitting flows? Been wearing the cons and the pros. Feel like I'm the only pro. If we gon' go, then go. We could take it toe to toe. I've been doing everything you've been doing, but I'm really doing more. I'm about to explode. You gon' need someone to hold me. They cannot hold me, yeah. Slowly, ain't no more taking it slowly, yeah. Holy, you're dealing with something that's holy, yeah. Hold me, I need somebody to hold me. Nothing's for certain, but this I know. Life is but moments that come and go. Tomorrow may never come, but the memories live on. Be strong, don't cry when I'm gone. This life is a path to infinity.
Accessibility settings. Accessibility setting. Accessibility settings.
It's people that wake up
Menu
and wish they
void
had it.
void window option is
It's
set
people
to
that
off.
wake up and go get it. We go get it.
Void window subtitles enlarge on field. Menu narration option is set to
All
off.
I know is to go get it. All my life I've been a go getter. All I know is to go get it. Wake up in the morning, kiss my son, then go get it. Go get it.
Accessibility settings. Madden 23 gives you multiple new ways to pass the ball. Try them all out here and pick what works best for you. You can always change your passing style later in the settings menu.
No, we all gotta eat. Up late, bills due, rent due, I ain't been asleep. Looking in the mirror, all I see is...
Madden 23 gives you multiple new ways to pass the ball. Try them all out here and pick what works best for you. You can always change your passing style later in the settings menu.
They slamming the door, I'm jumping the gate. Cause a starving stomach like being punched in the face. And an instrumental was the last time that I ate food from all of the base. My ace boom goon, big son told me about the game. 20 years later, know my name. King, crown me, lounge in the back of the spot. Pay homage to an underground peasant, climb to the top. Funny style on elevators could never fade us. I peep data stain anytime they congratulate us. Goggles is worn and bottles is popping. I'm Deion Sanders on haters, this ice bucket dropping over their head with it. Extra the cred with it. You either fight or flight, I ain't one for the ledge living. I do it for the one that died but fed millions. With soul food flowed and stocked my bare kitchen. I'm liberated. I drew a play that.
This is a special presentation of EA Sports from the Coliseum in Oakland. Our tribute to the coach, the John Madden Legacy Game. I'm Brandon Gaudin here to take you through the proceedings. And coming up, we're going to tell the story of a man who was truly larger than life and whose impact on the sport of football certainly is going to live on for decades and decades to come. Now, we've assembled a couple of rosters featuring some of Coach's favorite players from both yesterday and today. And Coach himself will be on the sidelines for both squads, trying to motivate his guys to victory. And I'm joined now by my good friend Charles Davis. CD, your thoughts on John Madden and what he meant to the sport he loves so much?
For me, Brandon, it's the word joy. He brought that to the game of football and brought the game to so many people. He stayed involved his entire life. And moving forward, when you think of football, you're always going to think John Madden.
One time for old times. What do you say we play some football as we are underway from Oakland in the John Madden Legacy Game? So it's the NFC stars who will get the ball first. And Charles, as we alluded to, we've got a different era of coach on each sideline. So the man coaching this NFC squad, we'll call him Young John Madden. This is a coach who was trying to establish a foothold. And on the cusp of doing it very successfully.
Yeah, you think back to that period, those early days as the coach of the Raiders, the late 60s in the AFL, and then in the NFL in the early 70s. Coach was a guy who was ahead of his time. The Raiders were one of the first teams at mini camps, one of the first to film practice, because he wanted to practice coaching as much as he could. And his teams, they were successful right from the start of his head coaching tenure.
Second down, and back they go to Sanders. So as we mentioned at the top, let's take you through the life of John Madden. And, you know, it's very fitting that we're here back in the Bay Area, not just because John's so associated with Raider football, but also because this was where he spent his formative years.
Yeah, he grew up over in Daly City with his buddy John Robinson, who would also become an NFL head coach. He played his high school ball at Jefferson High, eventually wound up playing tackle at the University of Oregon and later Cat County San Luis Obispo. Played well enough that in 1958, he was a 21st round draft pick of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's right, the draft had 30 rounds then.
They'll throw on first down with Favre. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. Now, Charles, you mentioned Coach was a 21st round draft pick back in 1958. It was the Philadelphia Eagles who selected him. But unfortunately for John, knee problems, they just continued to dog him. He was hurt in his first training camp. Actually never saw the field as a player in the NFL. But it was still during his time with the Eagles, you and I were talking about this before going on air, that you could start to see the light bulb going on for what his career path might entail.
And it went on in a big way, didn't it? Because while he was rehabbing his knee, he started to spend a lot of time breaking down film with the Eagles with quarterback Norm Van Brocklin, the future Hall of Famer and future head coach in the NFL. Remember, Norm Van Brocklin coached with the Falcons, he coached with the Vikings. And it was there, during that time, I think Coach Madden realized his love of football and love for teaching, combining all that together, and that meant being a football coach. So in 1960, began his coaching career at a small college south of San Luis Obispo called Allen Hancock, and then later at San Diego State University under another legendary coach, the guy who could throw it around pretty well, Don Coryell.
Well, Charles, you know, it was in the early 1960s that a young John Madden made the acquaintance of the owner of the Oakland Raiders, one Al Davis, of course, and the two, they really bonded, would become one of the best owner-coach duos in NFL history. And to take it a step further, Al Davis became someone who John referred to as his best friend.
Yeah, in 1967, Brandon, Al Davis hired Coach Madden to be a linebackers coach. Remember, this was still the 8th.
And that's going to be caught. Touchdown NFC. George Kittle from 8 yards out. And the NFC takes it all the way down the field to score on their opening drive. Quite the drive there to get things started. They took up the bulk of the first quarter, and they end up in the end zone.
And I love your last point. Ended up in the end zone. Because a lot of teams like those long drives, especially to keep their offense off the field, right? Keep the ball away from them. But they finished it with a touchdown. That's the exclamation point. Now, flip it over defensively. They've got to slow that down somehow, right? Maybe they need to be a little more aggressive. Maybe a few more pressures towards the quarterback.
Morton Anderson now for the extra point. His kick is good, and the NFC goes up 7-0. So that one an 8-play drive. It spans 75 yards. And it all in